Hello everyone, I'm going to be showing you how to do an Encanto Door step by step. So to get started, we're going to be needing regular copy paper, brown construction paper. You can also use orange or black. I recommend brown because your drawing will show up a lot easier on the brown. We'll also need an ebony pencil. This is a very nice ebony pencil. I'll show you how to use these. You'll also need chalk pastel and a white gel pen. For the first step, I want you to draw yourself as an Encanto character using only pencil. Ask yourself, if you were in the movie Encanto, what will you look like? What will you wear? And what will your power be? How can you show your superpower using only a symbol? When I'm drawing a character, I like to start off with a very light vertical line that tells me how big I want my character to be. So here we go. I'm going to start off drawing very light vertical line that goes all the way to right here. This lets me know right here is going to be where my feet go, and right here is the top of my head. Next step, I like to draw another little bit harder line that tells me how big I want my head to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw an oval for the face. Here we draw two curved lines, and then a horizontal line across where your shoulder is. And now we're going to do two curved lines that meet in the center for your chest. Just like so. For the hips, I like drawing a rectangle. What you do, you're going to start off by drawing a vertical line right along here. Sometimes I've seen students start drawing the rectangle right about here, and that is way too small. You don't want to do that. You want to first draw on the side of your chest right here, two vertical lines, and then close it off with a horizontal line. That's going to be your torso. Now we're going to go ahead and draw our legs. There are different ways you can do this. If you're a girl and you want to do a dress, at this point you can go ahead and start drawing your dress. If you're a tomboy like me and like wearing pants, you can start drawing your pants like this. It's just straight lines. Open it up, and then you go down. Try and keep your legs the same size on each side. Notice how this leg is the same width over here. Not quite. So I got to go in and make this leg a little bit thicker. And there we have it. I actually kind of want to do a dress, so I'm going to leave my feet like that for now, and then I'm going to do my dress later. Here we have my shoes, and so on. For my arms, I'm going to make them just straight out like this, two diagonal lines, just like so. Keep in mind your arms, if you look at your arms and you put them out, your hands should be at even with your hip right here. So if you're drawing a person, your arm is not going to be way up here unless you have your arm bent. So for the hand, I'm going to go ahead and close it off with a curved line, just like so. On each side. Now we're going to draw a rectangle, sort of. Draw a tiny rectangle where your hands go, just like that. And now we're going to do your thumbs. Keep in mind, your thumb should always be facing the inside of your hip. You're not going to put your thumb out here. Your thumb goes in the inside right there, and then out here as well. Inside your rectangle, we're going to draw more diagonal lines. 1, 2. If you count, we have 1, 2, 3. You have 5 fingers, not 4, so we're going to go ahead and add another finger over here. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3, and now you can add another finger right here. And you have your hands. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video a little bit so what you can see me draw. Once you have designed your character and have it the way you want, the next step is going to be to figure out how can you show your power using only a symbol. For my power, I think it would be really cool to have the same one as Green Lantern, where you can use your imagination to bring things to life, minus the rain. So like, say I want to bring Harry Potter to life so I can see him and talk to him, I can do that. Or say I want to bring a wolf to life to fight my battles, I can do that. I think that'll be really super cool. So for mine, I think I might use a symbol of a paintbrush, maybe crossed over together, or a quill, because I also love to write. And I might have a the snitch, the golden snitch flying around me as well. Something like that. So let me go ahead and draw that using my pencil here. I'm going to have my, you want to do it like about right up here. So what happened here, I did something wrong, is this person here is a little bit too high up. You want to leave some room here for your symbol to make room, but that's okay. I'm going to just kind of change it up as I go. I might make 2 snitches here. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw an oval, kind of have a circle around it, and then my wings. If you do not know what the golden snitch is, this is the smallest ball in Quidditch, and whoever catches it wins the game. If you do not know what I'm talking about, definitely read Harry Potter. It's a great show and book. I'm going to draw the snitch here as well. Something like that. If you look at the Encanto doors, every door is unique to the person. They have some kind of symbol that represents their power. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm showing my like for Harry Potter. I also like Percy Jackson, so I might make a trident here. You can use more than just one symbol. If you want just one symbol, that's up to you also. I could even draw myself holding the trident. But that's a little bit ambitious. So I'm just going to draw it here, like so. I kind of like that design. I do want to have the paintbrush here, but there's not room, so I'm going to leave that for later. Alright, so I have my design, got my symbol. The next step is going to be to transfer your drawing to this nice construction paper here. The reason we're doing this, I originally tried drawing with just basic pencil on my construction paper, and the problem I ran into was when I outlined with the gel pen, it became kind of muddy and kind of hard to draw. So I'm really hoping by transferring it over, this is going to help that. But that's why we're doing this. So the way you transfer over using ebony pencil, let me find my ebony pencil. What did I do with it? Here you go. So you just turn your paper over and try to hold it up so you can see the drawing. And I'm just going to outline kind of very basically the whole thing here. And then I'm going to color in super dark. Transferring drawings with ebony pencil is something I do on a regular basis with my own artwork. For instance, here we have a painting of Clark Kent that I'm kind of working on slowly. It's a work in progress. If you haven't seen Smallville, I definitely recommend it. It's one of the best shows you will ever watch. And here we have my drawing. All I did was make a copy of the original drawing from my sketchbook. Then I turned it around and I colored it in the background using the ebony pencil. The reason I do this is usually I have really nice sketches in my sketchbook, but I'm terrified of coloring it in and making a mess because then I'll ruin it. So that's why I copy it first and then use it that way. The nice thing about doing the ebony pencil, once you have it like this, you can save it and trace it again later. You might have to like retouch it a little bit, but I think it's good enough for like maybe 4 tries. So there's a good example. That is what we are going to be doing. So before we trace, make sure you go ahead and fold your paper in half the horizontal way. Your paper should be horizontal and you're going to fold it corner to corner. This is going to be your door. Eventually, we are going to be drawing a room inside as well. That's why we're doing this. So over here, you can draw your favorite room or what will be your perfect room. This is what's going to go inside here. On the outside, we're going to draw you as an Encanto character. So that's why we have this here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this nice paper right on top of my paper. Tape it down with some masking tape. And I am going to trace using a color pencil. You can use any color you want. Doesn't matter as long as you can see it. So go in, trace every little detail. Make sure it's there. Yep, very good. Tracing it all the way in. The Let's speed this up a little bit. Once you are done tracing, it is time for the big reveal. So go ahead and slowly peel off your tape. And if you look, I missed a few areas here, but that's okay because I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go in and just kind of add her arm in here. But you can see where I left out and forgot to trace. Next step is going to be to take your gel pen, your white gel pen, and you're going to outline your drawing and add more detail. The reason we did this instead of just drawing straight on here was because when you use the gel pen on top of the pencil, it's kind of muddy and it turns gray. So this is why we're doing it this way. If you notice, let's see, let's find an area that has lots of graphite right here. I know you can't really zoom in that well, but trust me, it's kind of gray and not very pretty looking. So you want to make sure that you do not have too much graphite on your drawing. All right. Got my hair. That's nice. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Once you are done outlining your character with a gel pen, the next step is going to be to make your border for your door. The way you do this is by just outlining your ruler. Set it up right here, exactly to the edge, just like so. And we're going to use a regular pencil to trace all the way to the top, right like so. Very good. And now we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Trace across. And I'm going to go ahead and skip on the bottom. There we go. All right. Once you're done with that, the next step is going to be to erase the insides of the lines you do not need. Make sure you also erase any unnecessary lines that you have on your character. All you want to see is the white. See how that black popped up? This here that I'm using is a kneadable eraser. One of my favorite erasers to use. Okay. So I have my character, my door. It is up to you what pattern you want to use to decorate the border of your door. I'm part Greek, so I'm going to be using a pattern that you see a lot in Greek sculpture. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video again so we can quicken this. All right. So I have my character and my border for my door. Something I don't like, but I'm okay with it, is how small the door is because of the border. So the way I can fix it in the future is I can make the border smaller using the smaller inch. I might do something like this instead, where it's only 1-inch border instead. So that's something to keep in mind when you're doing your border. How big do you want it to be? Are you okay with it being this small door? That could be it. Alright, so the next step, this is where it gets messy. We are going to be using chalk pastel to do the background. If you notice in Encanto, all the doors are very yellow and like golden brown. That's why we had the base of brown paper, and then they're very bright. So I'm only going to be using yellow, orange. This is kind of a tan color I like, so you can use that as well. And we don't have that much white, but if you have white, that will be a great color to use as well. So I'm going to start off with my darkest color, which is going to be orange. And I'm going to kind of make fire around her in the background. Oops, I forgot something. So we have the character and the border, but there's no symbol. If you look in Encanto, every door has a symbol to represent each character's powers, and I forgot to do that. So I'm going to go ahead really quick with my white pencil, white gel pen, and I am going to make my paintbrush symbol. The reason I'm doing a paintbrush is because my superpower is the power of imagination, manipulation. Anything I can think up can come to life. And usually, a paintbrush is a symbol for creativity. Another symbol for creativity is also the butterfly, but not many people know that, so I'm not going to make that one. Got my paintbrush, and now I'm going to make the other one over here. Something like that. And then on each side, I might do a palette for a painter. Something like that. It does not have to be perfect. You'll notice that they don't all look the same. If you want to be, you can. Something else I can do, I have the power to bring anything I think of to life. One of my favorite characters is Percy Jackson. So what I will do to show that is maybe do a pattern of the trident right here on the bottom. If you do not know who Percy Jackson is, I highly recommend picking it up from the library. It is one of the best books you will ever read, next to Harry Potter, of course. Got my trident here. You can add more than one symbol. It's up to you. Something else I might add for my symbol is the snitch, the golden snitch from Harry Potter. I'm not really big into sports. I don't watch them regularly, but if Quidditch was real, I will definitely go to every game. That's one of my favorite games to watch, but it's only in Harry Potter, sadly, which is a fictional world, but as Dumbledore says, let me see if we can get this quote right. Dumbledore has a famous quote. I gotta think about this for a little bit. Why, of course it's happening inside your head. But why on earth, Harry, should that mean it's not real? I just love that quote. I had to think about it for a second, but that's one of my favorite quotes in Harry Potter. And it has so much meaning to it. Like, yes, you're using your imagination to think of all these characters, but why on earth should that mean they're not real? Maybe there is some alternate reality where all these fictional characters coexist. I think that'll be really cool. So here we have my symbols, and now we're going to go back to doing the chalk pastel to make the kind of the fire glowy scene. Keep in mind, it is see-through, so you don't want to try and go over your white gel pen, but if you do, that's okay. You can get a paper towel and wipe off the chalk. It is just chalk. If you have white chalk, I recommend using that to brighten it a little bit. We are running low on white chalk, but I'm really hoping it comes in the mail shortly. But it looks really cool. So I'm going to use maybe some yellow on the face. Not a lot. It goes a long way. Just to brighten that up and make it look like it's glowing. Just on the outside. Like so. Yeah. I'm liking how this is looking. Maybe some orange here. Notice how I barely put any. You do not need a lot. I noticed when we were doing the snowman, there were some people who would color like this was a crayon. These are not crayons. You do not need to color like that. It goes a long way. Use the bare minimum, and that should be enough. If you want to add some more yellow to the palette, you can. But it's up to you what symbol you're using. Notice how all my strokes are kind of diagonal. I'm not going this way. They're all diagonal. That gives it a suggestion of movement, like it is actually moving. So, if you want it to be more peaceful and like still, you can use horizontal lines and go like this. I always like having movement in my artwork. So that's why I'm using diagonal kind of curved lines to suggest there's like wind going on behind her. So go ahead and do that here. Keep in mind you want it to be diagonal. yellow here. Notice how I'm not going around the border here. I kind of want that to be the darkest part, so it's going to stay brown. You can go back in with some actual brown chalk pastel to do that if you want to, but I kind of like it the way it is, so I'm not going to touch that. See how when you put too much chalk, it kind of takes away the brightness from the gel pen. That's why you don't want to use too much of it. You want to see this brilliant white popping through. Kind of like the orange, how that looks on the dress. Alright, I think I'm done. Actually, no. This corner needs a little bit of help. Right there. Now, I think I'm done. Something I could have done a little bit different. I could have outlined the door a little bit here to make it darker. Something like that. I actually like that. Let's do that. Okay. Use some brown just to outline the door here. And you'll notice there is something missing. I do not have a doorknob, but I can go back in later and add that in if I want to. But it looks like pretty much like an Encanto door. When I do my brown. There we go. I'm just going to outline the door here. That looks finished now. Okay, so we have the Encanto door. The next step after you're done with this is going to be to design the inside. We're going to be making a room. I'll talk more about that in the next video.